Welcome to part 2 of the presentation for BU345 Project Management Week 6. We will start this presentation discussing customer feedback. Just as important as the internal meeting is a post-project evaluation meeting with the customer. The purposes of this meeting should be to determine whether the project provided the customer with the anticipated benefits, to assess the level of customer satisfaction, and to obtain any feedback that would be helpful in future business relationships with this customer and with others. The meeting participants should include the project manager, any key project team members, or representatives from the project organization, as well as key representatives from the customer's organization. These individuals should have been directly involved in the project. The project manager should schedule a meeting for a time when the customer is in the position to really determine whether the project met expectations and achieved the anticipated benefits. For example, in the case of a project to develop a 10-page automotive brochure for a car dealership, a meeting can be held shortly after the final printed brochure has been submitted to the customer. The customer can then review the finished product, and the meeting can center around whether the brochure met expectations. However, in the case of a project that supplied a customer with a specialized automated assembly machine expected to reduce the product defect rate from 10% to 2%, it could be several months after the machine is installed before the customer can verify whether the defect rate was reduced. There could be time involved for the machine operators to train and develop the workers on how to effectively run the machine. Another example could be if a project to develop a new product had an objective to achieve a set sales volume of 2 million units within 12 months after the launch of the product. The sponsor may not know whether the project of developing and launching the new product achieved its expected benefit until 12 months after the product was launched. Ideally, the contractor should sit down with the customer and ask open-ended questions. This provides an opportunity for the customer not only to express the level of satisfaction, but also provide detailed comments about the parts of the project with which they were satisfied or dissatisfied. These comments should not come as a surprise if the project manager has been continually monitoring the level of customer satisfaction throughout the project. If the customer is satisfied with the project, the contractor or project team is presented with several opportunities. If the customer is dissatisfied, the project manager and any team members should avoid from disputing the feedback. If the project was a success, the contractor should seek permission to use the customer as a reference with potential customers. The contractor may even want to feature the customer in a brochure or on a website. The post-project evaluation is a great time to ask about other potential projects. These projects could be with the customer or with a partnering organization the customer is affiliated with. Another method that can be used in order to get feedback from a customer is a post project customer evaluation survey. The project manager gives this survey to the sponsor or customer and possibly other project stakeholders to complete and return. The survey could be in letter format, but it's recommended that the survey be in electronic form so that the data can be organized. After receiving the completed evaluation survey from the customer, the project manager may then want to schedule a follow-up meeting with the customer to obtain more detailed feedback. Having a system to organize and retain such customer evaluation and feedback information could be very valuable if the contractor or project organization might develop proposals for other projects for the same customer in the future. Another important note: the project manager and the project team members should make sure that they retain any documents supplied to them by the customer for the archives. These items should be stored for future reference, just like the other project documents. An important task to do during the phases of the project is evaluating the performance of the project. The project team should identify any lessons learned and make recommendations for improving the performance on future projects. These lessons learned should be documented and archived for retrieval at a later date. To encourage the use of this information, a knowledge-based system should be established that includes an easily accessible database to retrieve any lessons learned and all available information from previous projects. Information regarding lessons learned and associated recommendations from internal post-evaluation meetings and from feedback from the customer or sponsor should be incorporated into the organization's lessons learned knowledge base. An important consideration regarding lessons learned is to ensure that they are documented, communicated, and used by project managers and teams on future projects. One way to do this might be to require it to be on an agenda at the initial kickoff meetings for any new projects similar to the one that has been completed. Lessons learned can also be a good topic for any internal project management training that is conducted by the organization.